The United States has established itself as the strongest military in the world, but now some say more must be done to keep it that way. Pentagon producer Lucas Tomlinson reports tonight on what the Air Force reports it must get in order to keep up with global demand.
Earlier this year, top Air Force officials sounded the alarm, saying they were 700 pilots and 4,000 mechanics short. Now they warn the problem is worse. The Air Force Chief of Staff now says he needs 30,000 airmen. In a statement, General David Goldfein said, quote, "The shortage of people has fundamentally changed the way we do business in terms of the operational risk day to day." The former head of Air Force Intelligence says it's not just the airmen needing a boost.
We have a geriatric Air Force. We've got bombers and tankers that are over 50 years old. We have trainers that are over 40 years old. And we have fighters and helicopters that are over 30 years old. So this is a terrible situation to be placed in when we have a world of ever-expanding threats.
Air Force officials say they need more forces to bolster nuclear, intelligence, space, and maintenance jobs. Earlier this year, General Goldfein called the pilot shortage alone a crisis.
Here's the reason I believe it's a crisis. Air superiority is not an American birthright. It's actually something you have to fight for and maintain.
Your Air Force has been at war since Desert Shield, Desert Storm. This wing has been at war since that time for 25 years. We went to the Middle East when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait, and we never left.
At the start of the Gulf War, the Air Force had 134 fighter squadrons. Over the past few decades, that number has been cut to 55. Yet the Air Force is conducting nearly 70% of the strike missions against ISIS and 90% of the mid-air refueling missions. The Air Force is not the only service that wants to grow. The Navy says it wants to increase its fleet by 30% as threats around the world intensify. Today, the Navy has 273 ships and submarines. A new Navy study says it needs 355 in the future. The vanguard of that growth is in more attack submarines, like this Los Angeles-class boat seen here in Pearl Harbor, needed to counter what top Navy officials in the Pacific say is a growing Chinese threat. The Army and Marine Corps have both expressed a desire to grow and get badly needed spare parts for their equipment. Shannon?
Lucas Tomlinson at the Pentagon, thank you.